26A Falls Road Incorporated, trading as David's Restaurant, 3626A Falls Road. Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. Application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor license restaurant, license under the provisions of Rule 2.0, requiring $200,000 in capital investment and restaurant fixtures and facilities and seating for a minimum of 75 persons. Application includes requests for live entertainment and off-premise catering. Everybody testifying, please step forward and raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky representing the applicant. It's an application for a new Class B license. The applicant has had a license, a beer and wine license there for 15 years. At this point, he's expanding his facilities. Needs a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. We've already submitted, and there should be in the file, the floor layout for 90 seats. The menus been submitted, and the capital investment should be in the file. If not, I've got extra copies. Yes, there it is. And along with that, we have petitions signed by 281 people from the general neighborhood. Since Mr. Morgan's been in business there, quite simply, he has a lot of people who have, come in and are in favor of this.
What happened to his old license? Transferred out or it lapsed?
No, I think it's just sitting there right until when this gets approved, we'll decide to do something with it. You see you have the menu there.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and make some, put some things into evidence here. Your
Okay.
menu will be the first exhibit. Letter from Jonathan Melnick Auctioneers, second exhibit. Letter from Hamden Community Council, third exhibit. And we'll accept your petition at this time as the fourth exhibit.
There's 281 signatures.
281 signatures, and that is fourth exhibit.
A copy of the alcohol awareness certificate.
Received the certificate award to David D. Morgan from John S. Murray as the fifth exhibit in this matter.
And I don't know whether you have in your file, there's a letter from the Hamden Village Merchants Association. If not, I have.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the first flip through, so we'll take that. From Ben Ray, President of the Hamden Village Merchants Association. It's the sixth exhibit that was received.
And then you have the various people here that are testifying in favor. Since Mr. Morgan's already a licensee, he's already been qualified to be a fit proper person of the license. Mr. Morgan, state your name and address for the record, please.
David Dennis Morgan. What else?
Address.
Oh, 3626 Falls Road.
Nice to see you, sir.
Thank you.
You've been down there for 15 years, is that correct?
Correct.
You met with the neighborhood. You know what the neighborhood is, you know what to do and what not to do, is that correct?
That's correct.
And with the community association, you have a letter form, an agreement that you said you would agree to?
I will agree to everything that's on it.
And what would be your, what type of live entertainment are you asking for the board to give you?
I'm looking for 3 to 4 days of live entertainment, if it's possible.
And then along with that, you understand that there's a cap on the decibel readings that Mr. Peters, through his organization, put at 85 decibels. Do you understand that?
I understand that also.
You understand if you violate that, I'm sure they'll be the first ones who will be down here on it.
Yes,
So
yes,
they able to do that?
I will.
Any further questions?
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I have a question about the off-premises catering, the request on there. Mr. Kaczynski, maybe you can answer, or Mr. Morgan can answer. My question is, and I'm very familiar with the area, and you have a high concentration of school kids that traverse up and down. What internal measures are you going to put into place to prevent anybody that works for you to actually mistakenly sell to a minor?
Actually, the catering itself is not too much going to be on location at my restaurant. It's
So they won't be able to buy a six-pack over the counter?
Oh,
or
no, that's not allowed.
order food and go home with
There's
it?
a restriction, I think.
It is a restriction on that.
All right, okay,
My next question.
sounds good.
Before you get to the important stuff, what is the part of the menu that reflects what the senior citizens pay?
Oh, that's on the other side. That's on the other side.
Oh, God.
All right, and Mr. Morgan, are you in agreement with the Hamden Community Council to add a restriction to the license that the carry-out sale of alcohol is not permitted?
That's correct.
Okay, and you further agreeing to a restriction on the license regarding live entertainment not to exceed 85 decibels?
Yes, but I really don't know what 85 decimals is, so I'll have to just live up to that till George or someone
Yeah.
directs me in that direction. Yes, I will live up to that.
All right, and you're further willing to restrict the license such that you will be required to maintain an interior trash room for the storage of trash?
It's been done already.
All right, and that you'll maintain a private commercial dumpster at the rear of the premises for trash disposal?
I am working on that.
But you will commit to that as a condition?
Yes,
To the license?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I'll have to commit to
All
that.
right, and you also are committing to the notion that you will leave no trash, cardboard, recycling, or other materials on the sidewalk at the front of the business?
That's correct.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Peters, we'll be happy to hear from you at this time, sir.
George Peters, zoning and land use chairman for the Hampton Community Council. We spoke with David when he was considering expanding his restaurant and adding the service of liquor. And his business is not the only business in Hampton that has some trash issues, which is why that's on the request. There are a lot of spaces on the Avenue and Falls Road that just don't have adequate rear access for good dumpster service, or they have special issues. So, we discussed this prior to obviously coming here today, the idea that, as we ask all applicants that they restrict their license and don't sell carry out over the counter, because as one of the commissioners pointed out, it makes it a lot easier. There is no question, if you're sitting down to have a beer, you're sitting down to have a beer. And the 85 decibel, something else that, we blanket across the board ask for, specifically because the proximity of the majority of restaurants and bars in our neighborhood are within the same block as residents. So we're just trying to be respectful of the people that live behind the businesses and saying, hey, if you've got karaoke or you've got a band or whatever, if your neighbor behind you can hear it, that's too loud. It should be maintained in the building, in the business, and then nobody has a problem. As far as the trash goes, this particular space, this particular business has a very unique situation where it has no direct access to the rear of the building because of the way it's built, and there's another tenant, and it's just not possible. And that's why we really specifically stated that, he would need to maintain some sort of facility inside where he could have his trash, and that at the end of the day, when they close, they could then be responsible to take that around to whatever receptacles, whether it's a shared with another, however they work that out. But it's not going to be left on the curb. It's not going to be, causing a nuisance for the neighborhood.
All right, thank you very much for being here today, Mr.
Thank you.
Peters. Absolutely. And I want to hear about off-premises catering. We haven't heard about that yet, or the seating capacity. But yes, sir, go right ahead.
Oh, I'm Will Bauer from Hampton. I'm here to support Mr. Dave Morgan. We love that he's going to get placed up and running again. He's a great man for the neighborhood. And we're also birthday brothers. We share a birthday. We're not sure who's older yet, but yeah.
All right.
Will Bauer, Bauer.
And what restaurants do you manage, own? Okay. So Grano, and what else? And Luigi's. Okay.
And
And
you
13.5?
you understand with the live entertainment, you can do that comedy bit, but go one first with it.
scare people away, though.
Yeah, I know. You're not going to last long with that material.
So, Mr. Cadency, you're going to tell us now about the off-premises catering?
Well, he wants to know about the seating capacity, but we submitted a chart that should be showing 90 seats.
You submitted it to the file with the application? Here. All right, we're going to mark this as the fifth or sixth exhibit. Seventh exhibit.
As far as off-premise catering, they want to be able to do, private parties and so forth, if you want to have a party at your house, you'd be able to dispense out alcohol with that through a scat license.
Right, okay, great. And 90 people. If I could get you, Mr. Kudensky, to maybe mark the tops on here. I just don't know what those are
4 tops, 3
specifically.
tops,
And high tops.
and high tops. I would be counting all tops.
Make some sixes too. Booths, maybe you can make those sixes. Those are deuces.
What did you come up to on your
It's like
initial?
76 or 78 right on there, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be-
All right, is there anything else? Off-premises catering will be occasional and,
Yeah, and then they'll have to get their scat license to be able to do that.
sounds good. All right, any questions? We're gonna,
The difference in
yeah.
the
Well,
minimum seating capacity.
we can-
How are we gonna make up the difference?
You got 75 or
We
70,
can let 'em-
76 or 78 on there right now.
No.
24, they're all deuces.
30, 36, 40. I got 40 over here, and I got 30 over here, so I got 70, so, I mean, you have 90, so I
You
assume.
have a bar here, right?
Mhm.
And you have seating.
Some sitting around there, but you got, you got 40 on one side. They see the drawing?
Yeah, let's go off the record and let
Yeah.
you look at it,
Some
and
of
we'll
those are-
go
some of
back.
those are-
Okay,
are
we're off the
60 or
record.
80.
Let's go back on the record. We're receiving an updated floor plan, or seating capacity diagram for David's Restaurant. It appears there'll be at least 75 seats on the premises at all times. And based on that, we'll go off the record. Off the record. Anything else?
No, that's-
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and, want to approve it? All right, let's go ahead and go back on the record. Decision phase, February 7, 2013, David D. Morgan Sr., 3626A Falls Road, Inc., trading as David's Restaurant, 3626A Falls Road. It's a B beer, wine, and liquor license request for a new Class P license. Based on the exhibits we have in the file, we have a total improvement value of $344,328 as determined by Jonathan Melnick, president of Jonathan Melnick Auctioneers. That's our second exhibit in that letter dated January 2nd to Mr. Kadensky. Additionally, received a menu, received a petition in support with over 270 signatures. Alcohol management certificate for Mr. Morgan, letter in support from Hannah Village Merchants Association, conditional letter of support, and testimony, live testimony from George Peters, chairman of the Hammond Community Council Zoning and Land Use Committee, with several provisos. Mr. Morgan agreeing to all of them. So Mr. Morgan has agreed as a restriction, as restrictions on his license, that there will be no carry-out sale of any alcohol, that there will be no permitted live entertainment exceeding 85 decibels, that they will maintain an interior trash room and a private commercial dumpster in the rear of the premises, and the licensee agrees not to leave any trash, cardboard, recycling, or other materials on the sidewalk at the front of the business. So, Mr. Morgan, you understand that you're agreeing to those voluntary restrictions, and if they're violated, that they could impact your license?
Yes.
All right, and you've had a chance to talk to Mr. Kadinsky, your lawyer, about these restrictions? Yes. And you are indeed agreeing that you're asking us to make those restrictions on your license by your own volition? All right, thank you very much, sir. Based on all of the testimony, we'll determine under 10202A, public need and desire for this request, de minimis impact on existing licensees, a potential uniqueness of services and products to be offered, and a negligible impact on the general health, safety, and welfare of the community, including crime, traffic, parking, and convenience. We'll go ahead and approve your request. That includes the live entertainment and off-premises catering. Thank you very much. Good luck to both of you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you, Mr. Bauer. Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Thank you. Off the record.